Good morning, good evening, or good night, wherever in the world you are. Hope you're having, can I be bothered to say it? I hope you're having a wonderful day, and welcome to Arsenal 5, Tesco FC 0. As always, Nottingham Forest revert back to type, and if you buy one, you get two free. That second half start, what the hell was said at halftime is beyond me. Absolutely beyond me. Like I said yesterday on the fan forum, I don't care if we lose this game. I don't care what the result is. What I care about is the performance, the desire, the showing of a willingness to tackle, to give a foul away even. I only remember one time a foul was given away. It was Morgan Gibbs-White when he went and fouled him. But even that I thought was a clean tackle. I don't know why he got booked, but that's by and by. But this game, man, just the frustration. You know what it's like? It's like having a balloon and then your little kid son comes with a goddamn needle and just pricks it and pop. Off she pops. That's how I feel as a Forest fan right now. You go from the heights of inflating that balloon against Liverpool and you go and watch that crap. You go and spend all that money on that crap. The train tickets. The annoying 11-year-old kid who's having the time of his life. It's just not acceptable. We're meant to be a Premier League team. There's no other team I've seen who has performed as yin and yang as we do when we go behind in a game, where you just bend over and just pull your pants down and just bang, let them have it. Hit us with one goal, then 2 minutes later hit us with another, and then as always within 10 minutes the third goal has to come in. It's been one step forward and about 10 steps back on that performance. Look, let's be realistic. It is Arsenal. They are good, but they were not that good. They were not. I'm telling you, I was watching it firsthand. I had decent seats. We'll have the vlog at some point tonight. But I am telling you, man, a bit of pressure on them and they would have folded as well. Not necessarily conceded 5 like we did, but potentially it could have been kept to 1-0. Potentially it could have been kept to 2-0. Potentially, if Lingard wasn't such a bender, it could have been a goal for Forest. It's just so infuriating the way you have to go from here straight back down to here and we start again. It has so many repetitions of the Man City game. And already I've had messages from Forest fans saying, well, we got Brentford next. Well, we got Crystal Palace after that. Winnable games. Yeah. Do I not need to remind you what we were saying after the Man City game? Well, we got Bournemouth next and then Fulham and Leicester, bottom of the league. And then bang, what happens? Do we get anything out of those? No, of course we don't. Look, I am frustrated, but at the same time, I'm realistic. But honestly, man, it's just like, where do you start? Let's start with the likes. Guys, if you'd be kind enough, give the video a quick like or the stream a like if you're watching it now live. We will get in to all the player ratings. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. If you'd like to become a member, members will be shouting out your player ratings as we go through them. I am still hot under the collar. Literally, got out at full time. Should have got out at half time. Went to the train station, got the train back, came in, had a very quick bite to eat, set the stream up, and here we are. Oh, it's just... And you know the other thing, right? After they scored their 16th goal, whatever it was, after the Tesco FC bug-off, I got bored. When the 5th goal went in, I was like, I don't care. It got to that stage where I didn't care. Why should I care if the players don't care? There was no fight in that team whatsoever. But I can see you in the chat, man. If you want us to do a Leeds debrief and to go through how bad Liverpool were, happy to do so, man. So you sit there with your L's all you want. But look, and the other thing, I was in line with Cooper. I was sitting behind the goal, down the end. And of course, thank you, Arsenal, for, scoring all your goals down the other end. So I really had to strain my eyes to see it. Appreciate it. Can you just tonked us in the first half and made my life easier? But the inspiration from Cooper on the pitch, I was watching him pretty much most of the match because it's probably the most interesting thing that was happening from our side. All I ever see him do was do this. I don't know if he was playing with a human-sized Rubik's Cube or something. That's all he ever did. And then clearly he gave up. And why? Why is he itching so badly to switch to a 3-5 at the back, whatever you want to call it? I don't understand why. You can just feel it in him. He's itching to go back to that back three. And what a back three they were on the Odegaard goal. My God, I have never seen three defenders so closely in line next to each other, and all just watching Odegaard as he puts it in. It is pathetic. It is pathetic. Look, there was a couple of okay performances at best, but the fight was not there at all. At all. The fear was clear to see. I saw the Forest defenders take more drinks break than I saw them make tackles today. The amount of times they went into that goal, the goal where Henderson was, to grab a drink. I'm thinking, what the hell have you done to be so thirsty, man? Oh, God, man. Oh, God. How are you guys doing? How are you guys doing? Right, Dad, how are you, matey? Gave up after the third goal, yeah. I mean, I don't know what was said at halftime. I don't know what was said at halftime. It just, the way they came out, like both of them as well. It's like, I've taken my boy to loads of Arsenal matches, and that place is like a morgue, man. Normally, it's like a morgue. They needed an excuse for the crowd to get into the game. And we just had to hold out for 15, 20 minutes. But no, we had to just pull the pants down and let them in. That was one of the worst goals we've conceded, that first one. The fact that no one's told Lodi that Saka is left-footed and he will always cut onto his left foot is just ridiculous. And then Cook doing a freaking 9.9 somersault after Martinelli gets across him. What the hell was going on there? And where was McKenna? Because Cook was coming across to cover McKenna. It was shambles for that goal. And that all started with a pass down the right-hand wing, which was absolutely telegraphed from, I think it was Ryan Yates, trying to get MG Dub down the line. Played it in the most narrow channel you could dream of. Cut out easily. And the way we allow them to play the ball through the lines is embarrassing, man. They just switched that ball out to Saka. It's like got the clearest path you could dream of. And it's just an absolute joke that no one is pressing them. We went from playing beautiful football against Liverpool back to Leicester like that. The balloon gets popped. It's crazy. It's crazy. Adam saying, hey, Wolverine, what a shambles. It was a shambles. Cal saying all 5 goals were conceded under a full defense line. It's crazy. It's crazy how they can pick passes through when you're playing that many men behind the box. Adam saying Forest intimidated by another large stadium. Random saying shocking defending. We invite teams on by passing backwards non-stop. That is such a spot on point. Do you know how infuriating it was? So I was sitting behind the goal that Forest were defending at the first half, down the clock end, I think it was. And the amount of times, and I've got to pick him out because he was most at fault for this, from what I could see, was McKenna. McKenna just gets the ball and is slow to move it forward and then ends up going back to Henderson or across to Cook. And then eventually it goes back to Henderson. And then eventually what happens, Arsenal start to press. They never started to press straight away. It was never, ever a panic situation as the ball first comes to him. But he takes too long on the ball. Then the ball goes out. And then if he doesn't go back, he was going for these Hollywood passes down the left channel into the path of either Lingard or Awoniyi. And they would just be an overhit into the keeper. They would really be an overhit into the keeper. It's so infuriating. And that was the main problem for me. We were already 1-0 down at the time. There's no midfielders that were making themselves available. There was too much sideways passing through the back line. And then there was just too many passes back to Henderson. Look, his distribution was a bit better because Lodi was leaving himself open. And as awkward as the balls were that were coming to him from Henderson, he was chesting him down and he did attempt to get forward with the ball. But there was nothing else, man. There was absolutely nothing else. Literally, the player ratings for me are very simple. Dennis can walk off the pitch with a little bit of dignity intact. Lodi was okay, yet rusty. And who else? Awoniyi for fighting for the scraps. The rest of them, you could all give them a 0 or a 1 and just move on. It was just so bad. It was so bad. Mark says they're rubbish in possession and just hoof the ball in the channels and lose possession most of the time. Is championship mentality. It's so easy to play against. It's so easy to play against. Random says, look at all other teams. They all play it quicker across the back four. Only the top teams can take their time. Exactly. And we play like we've got all the time in the world across the back. And then suddenly they look up. They're like, oh, crap, they're pressing us now. What should I do? Let me punt it. Let me punt it. Dean says, I would have taken 3 points total against Liverpool and Arsenal. We have to stop thinking we can compete in this league. At the minute, we can't. From Newcastle to today, we're not good enough. Dean, I agree with you. I would have happily taken 2 points from these two games. But my point still stands. There's a way to lose a match. A way, even if they're superior to you, the other team. Yeah, you don't go on there and just bend over, man. You show a little fight. You show a little dignity. You show, even the away fans were struggling, man. That's how bad it was today. They were struggling. Half the away fans left before the full-time whistle. I don't blame them. I don't blame them. It's so bad. Ryan's saying, the only ones that are decent today for me were Awoniyi, ran his butt off, just didn't have the pace to beat Saliba. Aurier, yeah, Aurier was all right. Freuler, he was at fault for the first goal, but progressive. I didn't think Freuler was that great today, to be honest. Fox is saying Aurier, Dennis, Taiwo, Freuler, only good ones for him. MGW was terrible. Lingardinho has to be put in cam. He was wasted on the wing, says Run. And then Randoms has become a member. Thank you so much for becoming a member. It's, look, you can't pick out good individual performances because all you can say about good individual performances is they put a shift in or they showed a little passion. We are beyond that now. We need performances. I don't care that it's Arsenal. I don't care if we lose. I said yesterday, lose, but lose properly, man. That is not how you lose properly at all. Adam says, no passion, no desire, did not care. Dean says, I think we showed fight until the third went in. We just didn't show enough talent. Final balls were awful when we did have an attack. Miski saying, Cook and Henderson report again. More goals from outside the box. And yeah, another worldie from Partey. Yeah, thank you, Partey. I got a nice view of that. Fox says, I can't fathom how Dennis and Mangala can't start. And I'm not having it that Bidet or Biancone wouldn't be a better option than Cook at centre-half if not, it's terrible recruitment. There's so much we need to get into. We'll do a fan forum later on as well, so you guys, as always, can have your say. But look, don't get me wrong. I know it's Arsenal. I know we were expecting to lose. Yeah, let me just give that as the caveat right now, right? But there's a way. There's a way. The Arsenal fans were just in party mode. It was like a pre-season. It wasn't even a pre-season friendly. It was a pre-season training session for them. That's how bad it was. Smith is saying, I think the front three has to be Dennis, Awoniyi, and MGW now. Yeah, I've been saying that for months, if not weeks. Jesse is an issue, but not the most critical one. The CB does. All right, let's get into it. Let's get into the player rating. So, as always, we will rate them 1 to 10. I'll shout out the members ones. We'll do a free of the freebie ones. If you want to become a member and support the channel, it's only 99p. There is a new emoji for you guys as well. The legendary Brian Clough. I mean, what would he be saying about that kind of performance? So yeah, if you want to become a member, hit the join button under the video or the $sign, the $sign there under the chat, and then hit join member. Anyway, let's get into it. Henderson, for me, I would probably say he could have done better with was it the second goal where he made the save and he kind of pushed it back into his path. By the way, the defending will come on to that in a minute. But, I mean, he's conceded 5 goals. There's no way you can give him a high score. But at the same time, you can't really say he made a clanger. You know what I'm saying? It's just too much. His distribution was definitely better today. Definitely 100% better. But he's conceded 5 goals. Yeah. If he'd played like that and would only conceded 1 or 2, then you'd have to say he was like a 7 out of 10, a 6 out of 10. But the fact he conceded 5 goals, you've got to say you can't give him any more than like a 4, in my opinion. But again, it's harsh because he was okay, and I think, you know, at fault you would say for was it the second or the third goal, guys, where he saved it from Nelson and then just put it back into his path. I don't know. But I'm giving him a 4. He's probably the least of the issues from this match today. But there are many other issues that we need to get into. Let's see what you guys are saying. Cal's giving him a 5. Random's giving him a 4. Just like the defenders, he's holding the ball for too long. 4 from Raddad. 4 from Adam. Not great at saving long shots, says Randoms. I mean, that shot, from where I was sitting, I haven't seen it back yet, but it looked like it bent, like he started out wide of the post and brought it back in, man. So I don't know. I don't know if we're being harsh on him there. Dean's giving him a 4. Adam's giving him a 4. Ian's giving him a 2. Let's shout out some of the non-members. Miski's giving him a 3.5. Smithy a 4. We're all about 3 or a 4 on him, I think. It's fair to say. By the way, is this even the right team? This was my predicted team. I haven't... Yeah, it is right. Oh God, even guessing the teams now is predictable. Fox saying 5, no issue with Henderson for me. Bobby's saying can't score him. He's a shooting gallery toy. I like that. I like that. All right, let's move on. I mean, there's not too much to say about Henderson. It is what it is on that one. I mean, he's there for, you know, shooting practice against him. Let's go as always from right to left. Our right back was Aurier. I think Aurier was actually probably one of the better... Oh, crap. Sorry. That's what I want to do. Was one of the better players on the pitch. Now, it wasn't hard to stand out whatsoever on that pitch. Not by any stretch of the imagination. But again, his positional play was decent. I felt he kept Tomiyasu quite quiet. Martinelli had to cut in to get any change out of him. And overall, I mean, he did overlap a few times, especially towards the second half. Yes, the game was dead, but he put a few decent crosses in. I mean, it was the only time I got to see the Forest players in that second half. So I got to see Aurier quite up close and personal a couple of times, which was the highlight of my day. But outside of that, I mean, can you score anyone high today? Not really. Out of a bad bunch, for me, he's probably like 5 or a 6. We'll go with a 6, which is your kind of average score. I think a 6 is probably as high as I can go today. But again, we bought him on a free. People said it was a panic buy. He's quality, guys. He really is. And he's well worth the £0 we spent on him. And the hats, thank you so much for the donation, my brother, man. £4.49, really do appreciate it. That's so deep again. Got what we deserved. Arsenal defence under 0 pressure. Dennis head and shoulders better than Lingard. Dennis was immense when he came on. But yeah, I'm going to give, thank you again for the donation, bro. Really do appreciate it. I'm going to give him a 6. What say you guys? Let's have a quick look here. We got Adam giving him a 5.5. Raddad giving him a 5.5. Random's giving him a 6. Dean says, honestly, 8. I thought he did well today. 2 ahead of everyone else. I understand that logic. I'm not going to argue too much of it. Adam's giving him a 6.9. Jordan's giving him a 5. Wake Up News a 4.1. I think that's a little harsh, but each to their own opinion. Fox is giving him a 6. Cal saying Aurier should be the only player performed in this match. Should be the only player. Wait, let me read that again. Aurier should be the only player performed in this match. 6. Yeah, I'm with you on it. I think a 6 is quite fair for him. David saying it's difficult to blame Hendo. He should have done better with the second goal, but he had no chance with the other goals. It's the defense, man. It's still the defense. Jolly Ollie saying chin up, folks, onwards and upwards. Yeah, you're right. You're right. But look, we have to analyze the match on its merits. Yeah, regardless of what we wanted coming into it or what we wanted coming out of it, you still have to, in this stream in particular, judge it on its absolute merits. So, look, Aurier for me was a 6. Best of the bad bunch at the back. Nick says, I don't mind defeats, but the manner in the way we lost and rollover is unacceptable. We are seeing it far too often. Nick, you are like not 100%. You are 1,000,000% spot on. How many Forest fans, if you've supported Forest for more than 5 minutes, you have gone through pain and heartache and defeats. I've been supporting Forest for more years than I can remember now. And I've seen plenty of crap performances, plenty of performances where we've lost and we've still put some heart into it. That is not one of them today. Lose the match, fine. I can take it. I've taken plenty of L's in my time, but don't roll over and have your bellies tick. Oh, you're here at the Emirates, guys. Oh, you know, it was like tourists on the pitch, man. It was a case of, do they believe they're good enough to go toe to toe with these players? That's the question we need to be asking ourselves. Random says, lose to Arsenal, fair enough, not in the manner though, agreed. David would give Aurier a 7, best player, calm and confident. Sonny says 28 goals conceded in 13 games. You don't stay up on that. I mean, the table is not lying, is it, where we are? Poe says, I hate how our tactics have fundamentally stayed the same with low block and long ball galore. It doesn't work, but we keep going with the same stuff and lose. And then Owen, I've said it right now, haven't I, Owen? No one performed in the second half and it became quite a habit. Now that's the worry. Agree. And Jonathan says, spineless performance, professional pride missing. Jonathan, by the way, if you still want, it was you who wanted that ticket. I have a spare ticket for the Brentford match. If you can bring yourselves to see it, please send me a DM or as a DM. And on Twitter, it's Wolverine8125. Go follow me anyway, Wolverine8125. And please don't forget, please do hit the like. We're only on 42 likes and like 150 of you in here. Please hit that like button and subscribe to the channel if you are new. And let's get through this therapy team ratings together. Keith saying the first goal shocked me the way we were lined up in that moment. It should never have happened. Kouyate, please come back ASAP. Carl saying, hi all, I just wanted to, all I wanted was not to get spanked. And of course we go and get spanked, gutted. Carl, I'm feeling the pain, mate. Honestly, my son today, he's still making his way back. I left him at the Emirates, seeing that he loves that place so much, he can find his own way home. All right, let's move on into the centre-backs. Cook. Look, we praised him, we bigged him up for the Liverpool performance. He's lacking in pace, guys. I'm sorry, he's lacking in pace. He really is, and it's going to show more and more against teams like Arsenal and any team that has pace up front. He's going to struggle. He's going to struggle. I do not question his attitude, his desire, his professionalism, but I wouldn't look. Pele is one of the greatest strikers of all time. I'm not going to go and get Pele and put him up front for us, am I? Because he's too old and he's not fast enough and he can't finish now. There has to be the time where you say, you gotta take a bow, mate. You gotta take a bow. So I don't know. Look, he was definitely at fault for partially for the first goal. The way Martinelli got across him, that was just youth over age, man. Like 100%. The way that him, McKenna, and Worrell lined up to watch Odegaard's goal was pathetic. I'd use a stronger word than that if I wouldn't get demonetized. But overall, the flaws that I've been worried about in him came back and showed, and he's not the solution. He's part of the squad, definitely. For me, he's proven that. But he is not the solution. You have to have pace at the back. It's a given. It's a given that you have to have pace out the back. For me, I can't give him any higher than, I think, a 3, guys. A 3 for me. I don't know. What are you guys saying? Let's have a quick look at your numbers. Smithy saying minus 300. Poe saying a 2. Red Imp saying a 2. Poe's changed his mind to a 1. Then a 0. Misky saying a 2. Anthony, morning, rubbish way to start the day. How are you down under, bro? I know that's a dumb question, but I hope you're well, Anthony. Adam saying a 0. Rad Dad's giving him a 3. Adam saying Cook had a fluke game last week. Drop him, says wake up. Carl's laughing at something, I don't know what. Dean says 3, can't give him more when you've shipped 5 goals. That's exactly the point. You can't give anyone in the defence outside of Aurier. Maybe Lodi, we'll get onto it in a second, but it was poor. Fox says 2. Ryan saying not even a 0. Random saying, why are we not playing Biancone is beyond me. Give the guy a chance. Bro, don't trigger me further than I am now. 0 doesn't deserve a score, says Adam. And he also says, why have we got so many CBs? Why are they not playing? Adam, I wish in a post-match interview someone would ask Cooper that. Scott Kidd saying Arsenal completely outclassed us. We can't string any passes together. Morgan Gibbs-White, I highly rated him. He's been a huge disappointment. Brennan Johnson needs to go to the gym as well. He got pushed off a chance in the box so easily that it was a little embarrassing. It really was. Jordan's giving him a 2. Adam's saying, I would have played the under-21s. They would have played with more passion and desire, says Adam. And Dominic says, we need at least 3 points against Brentford or Palace. Dominic, let's not fall into that trap. We fell into that trap with Boringmouth. We fell into that trap with Fulham, with Leicester, with Villa. Let's not fall into that trap just yet. We will fall into it later on in the week. All right, so a 3 for Cook. Let's go on to McKenna. I feel that that was one of the worst games I've seen McKenna have. I don't think he was too bad defensively. For me, the thing that really, really annoyed me was the way he slowed the play down until the Arsenal players pressed him and then punted the ball Hollywood style into the channel, overhitting every single one. I don't remember one that came off, and straight into Ramsdale's hands. Also, on top of that, if he started to get pressed, his outball was across to Cook or back to Henderson. Defensively, he was okayish in comparison to the rest, but it's just the way, like, he embodied the way that the slowness of the back four, not in terms of pace I'm talking now, I'm talking about in terms of moving the ball, was to be seen. And it was weird. There was a couple of times I remember down the left where Lodi got the ball. He's looking up for a pass, and then McKenna shouts for him to pass the ball backwards towards him. And again, that slows the complexion of the attack down. That slows the complexion of the progress up the pitch down. It wasn't great from McKenna. It wasn't. And you just wonder, why was the instruction changed from the last game against Liverpool to say, slow it down, don't press, retreat to the halfway line, the usual crap that I can't stand seeing. I thought Cook was actually overall better than McKenna. What did we give Cook? A 3. So I've got to give McKenna, I think, a 2, guys. A 2. And add to it, we've conceded 5 goals. Let's not forget that bottom line with that one at all. So for me, McKenna was a 2. He's got to move the ball forward and quicker and stop going for these Hollywood balls down the left-hand side. He has them in the locker, but every single one he did today just pretty much went straight through to Ramsdale, and it was poor. What are you guys saying? Jordan's giving him a 2. Wake Up a 2. Redding a 3. Dean saying 2. Worst game for him this season. Yeah, I agree. I do agree. And not defensively. It's just the mentality. I think that's the right word. The mentality of the way he was playing the balls was too negative, in my opinion. Rad Dad's giving him a 2. Smithy saying McKenna is a scapegoat. I'm not scapegoating him. I still would start him. I'm just judging it on what I saw today. Adam saying McKenna was overwhelmed. Dominic saying too slow against the top teams. Adam saying 1.5. Jolly Ollie saying a 1. Ben saying a 1 for McKenna, too slow. Whenever it looked like we were countering, we passed it backwards, and McKenna just hit the long and we lost it. Exactly what I was saying, Ben. Exactly what I was saying. Adam saying 1.87. Miski says needs to stop passing back. We should push forward. Play to players from the back. 3 for me. Dean says it's been the worst. It has to be worth starting Bidet and Biancone. I mean, how much worse could they be? I've got no. They must be 2 of the worst defensively minded players ever created by God who have kicked a ball in their life. Honestly. Who's your defense? Just curious. I mean, we'll get onto that. I think everyone knows who my defense would be. But we'll get onto it after the player ratings. Carl says, can't really comment tonight as only heard the game on the radio. Haven't had the strength to watch the highlights yet. I haven't watched it yet. Look, a lot of this is what I saw on the pitch, guys, right? I might be right on some stuff. I might be wrong. I don't care. This is my opinion. And I'm hot under the collar. Of course I am. I'm sure a lot of you guys are as well. All I'm saying, to me, what it feels like is I had a balloon in my hand and my little brat of a son came with a pin and went pop. That's how it feels. Cal says passion and class are not related. Some players are full of passion but lack of class. It doesn't help the team. Exactly. Okay, and then Simon says we can't push forward with McKenna and Cook at the back. Would get spanked every week, says Simon. All right, let's move on to Lodi. Where is the Lodston? Let me just bring him up. I actually thought he was all right. He got done completely by Saka for the first goal. Why no one's told him? Always have. I mean, I think someone went to overlap Saka, which caught his eye and attention for it. But he still should have been aware on the first goal that Saka is predominantly left-footed, and he will cut in and do that. What I will say about him, he made a great clearance off the line. He also was the only one who seemed to want to progress the ball and run with it a bit forward. And then what would happen? He would look up and there'd be no one to pass to. And then what's he going to do in that scenario? There's absolutely nothing. There's so many times where, look, football is a team game. 11 players have to play. You're going to only be as good as your weakest link in the chain. And the problem is, we've got a class player here who's got crap around him. And that crap isn't even opening themselves up for a pass or a quick 1-2 or something like that. It's bad, man. It's bad. One thing he has to stop, though, is getting done by the fake kicks. You know, the FIFA style where you press shoot pass and they do a fake kick. He's one of the first who will always slide on his ass first to thinking it's a cross, be on his ass and then be out of position. But I wouldn't have taken him off. I thought when Nico Williams came on, he was getting bullied and out-strength. Nico Williams definitely lacks in strength. Lodi was reading the game a lot better. He was better at understanding where the danger situations were. Progressively going forward, he tried but had no support, and it made him look bad. The problem with Lodi is people seem to forget that we've chucked him into some of the hardest games. His debut was against Man City, where we got tonked. Played this Arsenal game. He was on the pitch for the first half of the Leicester game. There's no cohesion being built around him, and it's not fair on him either. He started off, look, in the first minute, he had the composure. He picked the ball up on the edge of our box. Instead of punting it forward, he took on one of the Arsenal players, faked out to the left. I don't know if you guys remember this. He got fouled, and we got a free kick, all because he was playing to his strengths. But that just faded. That just faded and faded and faded. Look, again, we conceded 5 goals. He's somewhere between a 4 and a 5 for me. Because we've conceded the 5 goals, he did get subbed off as well, didn't he? I think we've got to lean more towards the 4 mark for me. But it's a good 4, if there's such a thing as a good 4. I don't know, can you say that? But we can't judge him when you're putting him in against teams that are tonking us and expect him to do the whole thing by himself. So let's see what you guys are saying. What we got here? Get your ratings in, guys. Redimp saying 5. Lodi is a scapegoat for everyone, says Poe. Yeah, he will be scapegoated. I don't care. People can scapegoat who they want. Everyone is entitled to their own opinion. A lot of you may agree with what I've just said. A lot of you will think I'm an idiot and said everything completely wrong. I don't care. This is football. Have your opinion. You're entitled to it. And on this channel, I will always uphold your opinion, agree with it or disagree. Redim says 5. Miski says 5 only because he cleared that one off the line. It was a good clearance. Excuse me. Dean saying our best left back, 6 out of 10. Showed his class at times, but showed Saka the wrong side. Yeah, I agree with that. Raddad says 4.5. Raddad, we're not far off on a lot of our ratings these days, are we? Sonny Reed says 8 goals scored in 13 games. Terrible. You can't put that on him. It's the whole defensive unit, including him. Ben says Colback kept Saka quiet and Lodi is a Brazilian international and he couldn't. Ben, it is night and day in the team performance that played them last season to what played them this year. You cannot compare it. That would be like comparing, I don't know, my pace from 20 years ago to my pace now. Now, granted, it's not got faster. It's just got slower. But you can't compare apples and oranges with that. Smithy says 3, struggled to defend for me. Wake Up says, yes, good save Lodi. Where was our goalie? Yeah. Random says, Lodi was decent in the first half, no support, so he couldn't shine. I fully agree with that statement. Bobby says, Lodi can play next game, can't rate him. I agree. Give him the Brentford game and see what he does. Adam says, Lodi has played as LM before. He can then defend and also is free to attack. I don't think that's necessarily the answer. I just think they just act like complete strangers. I really do. It's just a joke. Adam's giving him a 5. Omai says, did O'Brien play? I didn't watch or see the subs. He did. He got like 9 minutes at the end, which is pointless. A lot of you saying you want Lodi at LM. Ryan's saying it as well. He got subbed off. It was one of the dumbest subbing moments ever as well. He was standing there taking a throw-in, and the substitutions took forever. I think Arsenal were doing some at the same time. And then I was like, just leave him on. I mean, it wasted more time than we had. Anyway, Adam's saying a 5. Adam's saying a 4. Ben saying needs to go back to a 3-4-1-2. No, not for me. Not for me. Simon says Lodi is like a cursed mascot. Not one with him starting, have we? Yeah, but we've only won 2 games, mate. There's going to be a lot of players that are cursed as well. O'Brien came on for last 10. Yeah, he did wake up. Carrington says we need to buy some attacker wingers. Lingard is wank. Lingard was crap, man. Ryan says, I feel like 4 is fair. Let's read out the member ones. Adam saying he felt sorry for Lodi. Keith, how are you, mate? He's saying they have to stay on their feet more. Too many overcommitted. Either that or it's showing practice getting up quicker. Kidding. Lodi is a bit easy to skin though. Look, I honestly thought was it the second or the third goal? I can't remember which one it was. I thought I had to double check that the pitch was green and not ice white, because it was like watching Dancing on Ice on ITV, man. The way they just synchronized slid and got completely done by a fake kick is embarrassing. I think it was Freuler and McKenna. And it was, you would have given them a 9.9 for their synchronization. The way they just slid on their asses, being done by the fake kick, and then we're just out of the game. And like, how are fake kicks doing this team so badly? It's unbelievable. Dean says it's not rocket science, worst defense, poor up front, too deep still, too many championship standard starters. Damning indeed from Dean. S says, I can only give you my player ratings for the first half as I fortunately slept through the second half. Mate, you picked the right half to stay awake in. All right, let's move on from Lodi. And let's go into the midfield. So let's start with Yates, because we'll go from the right-hand side. Shadow of what we saw in the Liverpool and second half at Brighton. Poor pass for the first goal, the one he tried to get into MGW. It was telegraphed. From where I was sitting, I could see what he was trying to do. And the Arsenal left midfielder, I can't remember who it was, just read it, and then there we go. Next thing, ball goes across to the other side, crossed in, 1-0 to Arsenal. Look, has he played too many games? Have we relied on his passion and all that good stuff too much over the last few games? Maybe this was one game too many for him and he needed a bit of time out of the firing line. I don't know. Outside of that, I am honestly struggling to tell you guys anything, either good or bad, that I noticed about him, because he really wasn't there. I don't know. I did lose the will to live halfway through the second half, but was there anything I've missed? The only thing that sticks out to me is how bad that ball down the line was to MG Dub for Arsenal's first goal. Outside of that, guys, I can't really say anything much. There was no bite. I was hoping he was going to be the guy who got in on them, challenged them, got in their heads, got into Xhaka's head. It's easy. Even I could have gone onto the pitch, given Xhaka a little slap and got him angry and annoyed. Didn't see any of that. I was expecting him to do it. Is he more of, I've seen someone say in the comments, is he more of a home player? I think it's Adam saying it. But you could argue he had a good second half against Brighton, but he was crap in the first half against Brighton. I don't know, guys. It's somewhere between like a 2-3, something like that. I'm just going to go with a 3. I just didn't notice him, guys. I didn't notice him at all. What are you guys saying? Let's have a quick look. Jolly Ollie's giving him a 1. Adam's giving him a 1. Maybe I was too high on him. I wake up giving him 2, saying champ at best. Dean saying 3, poor today. Red Imp saying a 2. Miski saying can't rate him, forgot he was playing. Lost on the crowd, -2. Yeah, that was my point on him. I honestly didn't notice him apart from the first mistake on the first goal. Reece saying, win against Brentford. We will forget this very quickly. The manner of defeat was ugly, but Arsenal are an elite side at the moment. 4 points from the next two and we're good. I agree with that. But we have to judge this on its merit. That's what we're doing here. Poe saying he just wasn't there. Rad Dad saying, sorry to say 2. Fox is saying a 2. Jolly Ollie saying wasn't in the game. Did he get subbed off? He didn't, did he? He didn't. I would have probably changed pretty much the whole midfield come the second half. Cal says Yates is one of those players who is full of passion but lack of class. David saying 1 for Cook. He did save a 6th goal late on. Did he? I was done by then. Anthony saying just seen the goal highlights. How does a single player score through a group of blue players? Don't, Anthony, don't remind me. I don't want to watch the highlights, man. Nick saying night and day to last 2 weeks. 2 for taking the whack in the face again. Did he get a whack in the face? I didn't even see that. Andrew, how are you, buddy? Saying toothless display, no bookings, no passions. Let's get on to the members ones. Ez says, I don't know how any Forest fans isn't angered by that performance. I'm furious, bro. I'm furious by that performance. It's like we said on yesterday's stream. Lose, but lose in a certain way. They did not do that, man. They did not do that. David says McKenna was poor in 2 only. Fernandez says Yates should be playing for Notts County. That's harsh. Jonathan saying Yates was well out of his depth today, not smiling and laughing today. Cheers. I'll DM about the ticket. Yeah, no problem, Jonathan. Yeah, let us know, buddy. Jolly Ollie says it felt like he wasn't on the pitch. That for me is the statement. I just didn't notice him, guys. All right, let's move on. Freuler. I feel like he was... Oh, crap. Hold on. Malfunction. I thought he was too deep. If you want my honest opinion, I thought he was way too deep. At times, it was nearly a back 3. For those of you who wanted the back 3, he was almost splitting the defenders and sitting just in front of them in almost a back 3. I don't feel he influenced the game. How could he, with everyone around him playing crap? Probably his worst performance on par with the Man City performance. Look, there was a lot of mirroring of the Man City game for me in this game today. It just felt like, and if you think about this seriously, right? Can you say, if you look from Man City to now, what's the progress? We had the little purple patch against Liverpool, but can you honestly, hand on heart, say there was a difference in the performance between Man City and Arsenal? No, I'm not saying I expected us to come out and beat Arsenal, but I would expect the experience and the understanding of the league now that they have gained something from that Man City tonking, from the Leicester tonking, etc., to know how to keep their heads up when you concede. The problem we're having still is when we concede and go behind, especially if we go 2 down, it's poor. But look, back to Freuler. He was too deep. He was forced too deep. The low block was so low that I thought they were going to sit next to me behind the goal today. But he was probably slightly better than some of the other players, but he was still crap. I don't think he's any higher than a 3, to be honest. I would have liked to seen him play maybe 10 yards up. And he actually was participating in a lot of the sideway balls and the balls back to the goalkeeper. And also, he was the one, I think it was him, from where I was sitting. He was the one who turned his back on the party shot. If I remember, you guys correct me if I'm wrong. Again, I'm just judging it on what I saw live at the game. And that annoyed me, because put your goddamn body on the line. I don't care if we were 3-0 down or whatever then. Put your body on the line and don't turn your back. All these long-range shots that we've conceded, and hello, it's nothing new here. They've got to start putting their bodies on the line and not turning their backs on it. It makes a huge, huge difference. For me, he was a 3. He wasn't his usual self, guys. He wasn't. Let's see what you guys are saying on this. Wake Up saying 3. Adam saying 3. Jolly Ollie saying too deep and played out of the game. I agree, he was too deep. Richie saying at this rate Cooper will be gone at the World Cup break. Dean saying 3 makes too many poor tackles, gives away free kicks, didn't notice him today. Poe says I think he was told to play extremely deep. I mean, I don't think any player would choose to play that deep unless they've been instructed, so you may have a point there. Ryan says probably dropped that deep because otherwise he wouldn't have gotten the ball. I mean, the ball was spent most of it. What was the possession stats? I haven't even looked at any of the stats. Random says Freuler just hasn't got anyone on his level to work with. He looks alone out there. I still think it needs to be Freuler, Mangala, and O'Brien. I really do. I'd love to just for the next 2 games, run that experiment, Coops. Just run that experiment. And if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. Yeah, what have we lost? But I just feel the 3 of them are balanced in terms of what they offer on the table. Radzad saying a 3, Redimp saying a 4, Adam saying it's really simple. Remo, O'Brien, Mangala, yeah, literally what I just said. Why is that hard for Cooper to pick that? I mean, because there's a set of the fan base that are so goggled up on certain midfield players that they will play those players come what may. For me, go with the players that will give us the performance. That's what I say. I'm Forest before I'm any player. Fernandez, who is a Newcastle fan, guys. Cooper will hopefully be sacked tomorrow. Needs someone in with new ideas. Jolly Ollie's saying no fire. Wake Up says it's Cooper telling them to play in the penalty box. But why is he doing that when you've seen what happens when we didn't do it against Liverpool? I don't care that we were away. Look, this whole home away thing to me has no grounds. Why? Because Liverpool had 75% possession against Forest, yeah? Therefore, the whole point of a home team is that you're meant to progress the ball, you're meant to have possession, the crowd is behind you, etc., yeah? But the possession one is the key one. And when we're at home, we're still giving up possession. So it doesn't matter. That Liverpool game, we could have played it at Anfield, yeah? And it still would have been the same possession stats. So I don't get this whole, maybe if we play at home, we would have been better. No, it's not like that. Why do we have to play so deep when we go away? Play the same, man. Play the same. Tomic's saying, good reminder for them to get back to the training ground instead of spamming Halloween challenges on you. Oh, man. Don't get me started on this Halloween challenges. I don't know who's in charge right now of their... Anyway, if they trained all week... where did I get to? This is jumped down. Ed says, we both said that if we get in their faces, we can affect them. We didn't lay a glove in any areas that mattered. We didn't even lay a glove in the areas that didn't matter, man. It was bad. It was bad. What was the point in signing Willy Bolly, says Fernandez. He was a panic buy. Pat says it was Yates for the first goal. It was that pass. It was a hospital pass to MG Dub, wasn't it? NJS says, to be fair, the Gunners would have smashed most teams today, but our attack is horrible. NJS, I'm not disputing that fact. But I am disputing the fact that no other of the 18 other teams that weren't on that pitch today would have just bent over and had their bellies tickled the way we did. Okay, let's catch up on the members one. Andrew's saying 3 for all of them apart from Lingard and Yates today. They get a 2. I'm ashamed of them today, says Andrew, sorry. Simon says it was on the players today. You could tell Coop was disappointed with them in the post-match interview despite all the buck stops with me stuff. And Jolly Ollie says it felt like we were fodder for the Prem. It did. Okay, so that's Freuler. Let's move on. Oh, it wasn't Mangala. Why have I got Mangala? Sorry, guys. I can't be bothered to change him. It was Kouyate, wasn't it? It was Kouyate. Mangala didn't even get on the damn pitch. Great. That's just angered me even more. Trying to think. I noticed him as much as I noticed Yates. If you want my honest assessment, I didn't see any aerial threat. Look, this is not at all Arsenal team. Like, how did we not dominate the aerial side of the game? They were crossing the balls in and we were still struggling with it. I didn't notice him. I'm sorry, but I didn't notice him. Yvonne, thank you so much for subscribing to the channel. Sorry, I was taking a drink there. Appreciate it. Guys, if you haven't subscribed already, please do. Please do hit that like button. We're 30 away from 100 likes. And please, could you guys go and subscribe to Rads as well if you haven't already? I think he's like 10 or 15 away from 4,000. Can you please put a smile on my mate's face, Rads? And go and subscribe to his channel. Let's get him to 4K like now, in the next 5 seconds. Go do it, please. Okay. I think on Kouyate, I've got to go back to yesterday and what NFFC GOAT said. And I think he was spot on. He said he wanted Kouyate out of the team because he's had too much of a run in. His legs would go a little and so on. I think he was right, and he wanted Mangala in there. Look, I thought he would put Mangala. Thank you, Awoniyi. Guys, all you got to do is just click that link. Let's just get Rads to 4K quickly so there's something to be taken out of this miserable day, please. So please go and subscribe if you haven't already. I would say, out of all the players on the pitch, he was the one I noticed the least. The least. Him and Yates, comfortably, I didn't notice them. I noticed him less than I noticed Yates. There's not much to say. I'm stalling. I'm just going to go with a 2. Didn't notice him at all. Let's see what you guys are saying here. Random saying Kouyate looked tired for from the last game. He's a 4. Adam saying, was he even playing? Don't know. Dean says 3 for Kouyate. Nothing else to say really. Adams, you're correcting his spelling there. Rad Dad saying the invisible man gets a 1. He was invisible. I'm glad that you guys have picked up on that and it wasn't just because I was getting bored during watching the match. Redim's giving him a 2. Adam's giving him, as Adam Shelton giving him a 1. And S saying Yates and Kouyate are garbage. Look, guys, we can't just keep flipping from up here to down here. This is what I've always said about Yates, for example. People either put him right up here or right down here. When I say he's somewhere in the middle, I say Yates is a really good impact sub, right? Regardless of what other what other lies people are spreading about what I've said, that's what I've always said. But I do understand that a lot of you are going to be frustrated right now. You're going to call players garbage, and tomorrow you're going to think about it and think, well, they did all right against Liverpool. So vent it out now. Vent it out now. I don't hold anyone's opinion against them. So say what you need to say. Wake Up says Cooper brings himself off, and Cooper brings him off at the 80th minute. Wait, who? Who did he bring off at the? We'll get onto it. We'll get onto it. Nick says can't score him as he didn't notice him. Kouyate is Forest best signing, decent squad player, says Fernandez. Dean says I can't get my head around Mangala, Biancone, Dennis not starting regularly. Dennis was by far and away the best player in that second half. Omai says the problem is that we are playing so bad nobody will want to buy any players. Hence the next problem that we can't replace them. It's a very good point. And says I never rated Yates. Simon says embarrassing, mate, but the next 2 games are massive. They are massive, bro. They are. Okay, and Jolly Ollie saying it was all self-preservation. Let's move on from Kouyate. There's nothing to say about him. I didn't notice him. Who was next? We had Gibbs-White. This should be interesting. Look, for me, working with scraps, the only player to put in a couple of decent, chunky challenges, and he got booked for one that wasn't bookable in my opinion, man. I thought it was a clean tackle from where I was sitting. But he didn't do much else. His passing was off. I didn't see any decent through balls. I didn't really see that desire to take. Even when he tried in the odd time to take players on, he got tackled at point blank, and it was a bit of firing blanks with him today. I don't know, guys. You guys know I love him, but I don't think it was one of his good games today. But he showed a little bit of passion in terms of the way he went in on challenges. Apart from that, I can't really defend him too much. But again, it's a whole. It almost feels like we took that one step forward to Liverpool, as I said at the start, and taken about 5 steps backwards, where they no longer look like a team again. Just because he put those challenges in, just because he showed a little fire, he wasn't great. I'm going to give him a 3, I think. A 3 overall for me for MG Dub. It is what it is. What are you guys saying? JP saying Kouyate wasn't that bad, lads. We're not saying he was bad, JP. I just didn't notice him. Andrew saying, hope we're not saying season starts again Palace after playing no possession football against Brentford and losing. The season starts next game, repeat. The other 19 teams look better. That's my worry, because I've had loads of messages, Andrew, from people saying, we start again with Brentford, you know? Red Nasty says, overhaul, it's down to the manager. When Coops joined, I noticed players getting their foot in. Now we just seem to stand. Yes, and admire the skill of the opposition. Red Nasty, you're pretty spot on, to be honest. David says, Yates's shortcoming was shown up today. Amateur hour, always chasing the game, never catching up. Just a 2. Simon saying, so worrying what happened at halftime. What was said, Simon, at halftime? What was said? Lads, go out there, make sure you concede early. And if you do concede early, go Tesco FC on us and give them the second and the third for free. And make sure you start the clock, because we must concede those next 2 goals within 10 minutes to keep up our true mantra. Anyway, Random saying, MG Dub poor today, put himself about, but no support again. Isolated a 4. Jolly Ollie's giving him a 3. Red Imp saying 1, overrated. Dean saying 4 for an MG Dub. Is a strange player, pure class and utter crap the next minute. Gave the ball away a lot. Andrew saying give them 25% wages in line with their possession. Was it 25% again today? My God. Adam saying MG Dub was horrendous. He has only had 2 assists and no goals. His rival midfielders have goals. Raddad says love MG Dub but a 2. Ryan says, he said something. My screen just jumped up. What did you say, Ryan? I've lost it now. There we go. I've lost it. Sorry. It scrolled up. Red Dog saying waste of money so far. Adam saying 3 at least tried and showed passion. I get what you're saying, Adam, but I really hate that line, bro. Nothing against you. I'm just so sick of hearing it. They tried and they showed passion. For me, that's like the fact that we have to say that line shows you where we are. That's like your default thing. You cross the white line. It's not even expected. It's just known that should be the minimum. And if we're saying the rest of the players aren't doing that, then serious words need to be had. Wake Up says Cafu had 2 assists and he's not in the squad. Red Nasty says MG Dub did not have the ball enough. Ed saying, Simon, you're spot on, buddy. How many games this season have we come out worse in the second half? Steve Cooper halftime talks clearly aren't inspiring players. It's not just that, Ez. I don't think Arsenal have scored in the second half in like 4 or 5 games. And I'm probably slightly wrong, but I know they've been struggling to score in the second half. And they've gone and tonked 4 in against us. Simon saying exactly would be top half if it was based on first half. Football's 90 minutes though, boys. Football is 90 minutes long. Guys, we are like this close to 100 likes. Stop being lazy. Stop acting like the Forest players did today. Pull your fingers out. Grab your finger. Go hit that like button. Just press it. Boom. It's free, man. It isn't costing you any money. Just hit boom. Like. Stop being lazy. Show a little passion. Show a little desire, as Simon said in his comment. Hit that like button, guys. Get us over 100, please. It would be greatly appreciated. Okay, Simon says, worrying how few chances we created this whole season. Most goals from luck or set pieces. We've scored 2 goals from open play, I think, this season, and we're still not in double figures on goals. Andrew says, even Forest TV kept crashing today. And Simon says, Dennis for Lingard. We'll get on to those in a second. Danny, how are you? I was positive before the second half. Still in the game, not a mountain to climb. But then, boom, shell-shocked. Yep, Tesco FC came out second half. And then Andrew says, after the other results yesterday, there shouldn't have been pressure today. Free hit. If we had lost well, we would still be happy, but not 5-0. I agree. Simon says, 1 away goal from home this season. Shocking. We've had 1 away goal. Is that it? Is that the Everton one? Nah, man. My God. Okay, let's move on from MG Dub to... I tried, guys. I tried to give him a chance. Why do I keep doing that? I tried to give him a chance. He's so bad. I reanalyzed him after the Liverpool match. I positively looked for good things. I found them. Maybe when I rewatch this match, I'll try. But based on what I saw today, what a goddamn bender, man. How does he miss a chance when it's gifted to him from the Arsenal defence? And he can't even slot it away from, what was he, about, I can't really tell because it's down the other end of the pitch to me. It looked about 9 yards out or something like that. What was that, man? And then did he do anything else the whole game? I didn't really see him tracking back that much. I didn't see him getting stuck in on any tackles. I didn't see anything. And the only thing that sticks into my mind is his goddamn benderism on that miss from inside the box where he just hit the player that was lying down in front of him. I tried. You guys know I tried. You guys know I hate him. I don't hate him. I just hate what he represents at the moment with Forest. But for me, he's not the player. These fans that keep saying we'll see the West Ham Lingard come out. Remember, that was a cameo because he was trying to get a new contract at Man U or whatever it was. I just don't like. He's always involved in these stupid social media crap that the team are doing now. And you know, the social media stuff would be lovely and all well and good if we were winning games. If we're winning games, anything looks good. But when you're losing games and you see players coming out, putting their hands in the boxes and all this crap, I don't care. I don't care. Put your hands on the pitch. Goddamn well. Start putting your foot on the ball, passing the ball. Do something with the ball. He's just like... And yeah, Ed, you're right. His slice, man. His slice. Is there some kind of... You know how you have the crossbar challenge, yeah? Is there some kind of Forest challenge where it's, can you shoot and try and get the ball out for a throw-in? Because he nearly damn well did. He was about 3 yards out from it not being a goal kick. What is this, man? Well, I completely forgot about that, but I had such a good view of it. It was embarrassing to say the least. What do we give him, man? Does he even get into figures? I've calmed down a little. I'm going to give him a 1. What are you guys saying? Oh my god, there's loads of zeros, man. Okay, it was the Everton goal. Oh my god, man. That was back in August. So we haven't scored an away goal since August. God damn it. Okay, Sid, he's giving him a 0. Dominic's saying we need a break. The World Cup will help. How, Dominic? We come back. We got Man U and then Chelsea. Jolly Ollie saying he is going shit. He went shit a while ago, man. Simon says, should have brought Bowler, but left him at Blackpool. Yeah, he's not even getting a game, is he, at Olympiacos? Dean says 3 for a player who's supposedly quality. His shots and final pass of quality is League 2 at best. That shot, because I could see it from behind, right? He didn't try and curl it or finesse it. He actually went for an outside of the boot slicer, which I just didn't understand. Omai says, Bowler coming back in January, Lingard to Olympiacos. I'd take that. Raddad saying bench him 1. Jolly Ollie saying 0. It says his slice. Yeah, I've read that one. I don't want to read it again. Adam says he needs to do one back to Manchester. I've already offered to pay for a Zuba. Where are we here? Adam saying minus 100. I'm reading the members out now. There's loads coming through. So if you're not a member and you want your score shouted out, just hit the join button. It's only 99p. Simon says we have to cut him adrift in Jan. Can't just be waiting for him to do something all season. 1 for turning up and getting some Insta content out there. Keith says I like the lad, but Lingard should not start anymore. It's got to be Dennis, man. It's got to be Dennis. Omai says I want Super Ben Diaz back up in January. Oh my god. Simon's saying it as well. Diaz would be crap in the... No, he's not saying it. Just like Brennan. Random saying 2. That 1-year contract from Forest was smart business. Off he goes. Smithy saying can't wait for him to go. Damning comments from you guys on our marquee signing in Jesse Lingard. All right, let's move it up to up front in Awoniyi. He wasn't as good as he was against Liverpool. I don't think anyone's going to debate that with me. I thought he was brilliant at Liverpool. But he was fighting scraps, man. Let's be honest here, guys, yeah. You could have put Haaland up front today and he would have played or looked just as poor as Awoniyi was. I felt sorry for him. There was a couple of times in the game where he did turn the defender, but Saliba had him in his pocket, man. He really did. But I don't think you can be that harsh on him because he was playing as a lone striker. What could he do? What could he do? There's not much to say. Let's just give him 4-ish, 5-ish, something like that. I think something around there. What are you guys saying? I felt sorry for him. I did. The Arsenal fans around me were actually scared of him. They're like, oh, he's got pace. Oh, he looks like he could turn our defenders. Blah blah blah. But you know, it's he can't do much. He can't do much before you give up. Okay, let's see what you guys are saying on him. Redim saying 3, Adam saying a 4, Sid saying 4 or a 5. Adam Shelton is saying he felt sorry for him, so did I. Rad Dad's giving him a 5.5. Ed saying Awoniyi not a fault today, shite around him. Yeah, I do agree with that statement from Ez. Simon says would love to see Dennis on the left and Taiwo on the right. He's not a right winger. I'd put him up. Oh, you mean in a 2 up front? Yeah. Simon saying I mean Taiwo down the middle. Random saying they had him today. He tried any time he did have the ball. There was no outlet. Yeah, there's no one even. Like, he played a lot today with his back to goal. And there was no one just to lay the ball off to. MG Dub wasn't open. Lingard wasn't open. What's he meant to do? What's he meant to do? Red Nosty says 4. Simon saying MG Dub down the right. Colin, how are you, Colin? Always going to lose today. Lose 1-0 or 10-0. Same 0 points. Next 2 Premier games are essential wins. No pressure after yesterday's result. Just not good enough at the moment. I just want to make a point on that. In a way, I agree with what you're saying. But Southpaw Red, did I cry in front of my kid? I don't know. I left him at the train station, so I don't know. He didn't get to see me cry. Yeah, Wino Sturridge says Red Nasty. Look, if Awoniyi's gonna struggle in this league, yeah, you can't start thinking that players. The problem Forest fans have at the moment is players who don't play, and I'm guilty of this myself. Players who aren't playing, we suddenly think are better than they are just because they haven't been on the pitch, if that makes sense. I just want to touch back on that point about these 2 games being called free hits. Yeah, in a sense, yes, I do agree with that. And the point here as well is a lot of people say these games will not be the ones that define our season. I don't agree with that because they do define your season. I think our goal difference is now -20. It's worse than boring mouths. Yeah, that goal difference equates to 1 point. And that 1 point will come from these games that people say don't define our season. Lose these games, fine. Don't get tonked in every single one of them. Don't. That's what defines your season. You not only are you making the league is hard enough as it is, but if you're gonna add a -1 in terms of points tally, because technically that's what it is, a goal difference. Why are you making your job even harder? Go lose this game 1-0. Go lose it 2-1. Yeah. Go lose it 3-0 as a max. But to get tonked 5-0, to lose 6-0 to City, 4-0 to Leicester, that's just not acceptable. It's not acceptable. So, yes, they are bonus games, but they do define part of the season because they impact on the goal difference, which basically, we're on 9 points now, or whatever we're on. Technically, we're on 8. Yeah, that's the reality of it. Anyway, Taiwo for me is a 4. And let's move on to the subs. You guys are really going to have to help me with the subs. I can't remember. I feel like... Let me bring it up, actually. Let me bring it up. Oh, God, Man U won as well. For God's sake, man. Like the day couldn't get any worse. So Johnson came on for MG Dub and Dennis for Lingard. Okay, let's bring those on. How are we still not on 100 likes, you lazy gits? Hit the like button. What the hell is 200 in here? Hit the damn like button. All right, let's move on. Let's start with Johnson. I didn't notice him, guys. The only thing I noticed on Jono was when he got pushed over in the box. Look, I was screaming for a penalty in amongst the Arsenal fans. But yeah, I just thought, does he need a bit of meat on him? Does he need a bit of meat on him? You know what I'm saying? Like a bit of chiseledness on him. Because he is getting pushed off the ball quite easily. Outside of that, there's not much to say. Did I miss anything with him? Did he have a chance? Let's give him a 2. 2. And I'll tell you why I'm giving him a 2, right? It's because the player we're about to come on to next was night and day when he came on. What are you guys saying? Jolly Ollie's saying a 1. Red Nosty's saying nondescript Johnson. Southpaw saying bonus games when you're shipping loads of goals, nothing bonus about them. I agree with that. Adam saying a 3. Red says pretty much sums it up. Andrew says Steve Cook has explained how he's trying to bring noise into Nottingham Forest by being a vocal leader on and off the pitch. Bet you heard him screaming today. No. You know, the only person, and this shocked me, and I thank you for bringing this up. This shocks me. Do you know who was taking charge of the back four? Yeah? Lodi. Lodi was there explaining to them where to stand in positions while they're all having their drink. You know, the amount of drinks that went through from that goal line, I was surprised they didn't install a tap in the goal itself, because Cook and McKenna were there just chugging it back. Maybe there was more than water in there. But Lodi was coming across, and he was the one. And I'm thinking, what the hell language is he telling them all this in? There was a lot of hand signaling going on like this. But Jonathan Talk, thank you so much for becoming a member, buddy. Really do appreciate it. But, like, where was the leadership at the back? There was a lot of arguing. It's always interesting to hear what they're arguing about. Anyway, we digress. Cal saying Brennan 2 seems to have lost his confidence already. Rad Dad saying a 2. Adam saying Brennan Johnson's speed is really important, but he has these players around him. Nick saying not the same player as last season, a 2. Red Imp 2. Adam saying a 4. There's the legend Jonathan becoming a silver super red. Appreciate it, buddy. Members, welcome him in. Welcome in some Clough emojis. Simon saying we didn't buy Lodi, he's just on loan. Sid's giving him a 2 as well. Okay, let's move on from John, because I really want to talk about this player. I've been crying on about him and has been nearly popping a blood vessel about him. Yeah, he was night and day, the best player on the pitch in the second half. He attacked the Arsenal players. I love that. I love that Cloughie one. It makes me sad though. It makes me sad to think what he would think about what he saw today. But he came on and he ran at Arsenal players. Look, every run he didn't come off. He had this one chance in the box where he fake kicked like 3 times. To be honest, he should have shot after the first fake kick. Again, I was nicely behind it. I was well excited. It was like, my God, we got players in the Arsenal box. What is going on here? And he should have shot. And Red Nasty, thank you so much for becoming a silver member. Guys, welcome him as well with the emojis. If you do want to become a member, please do hit the join button. It's only 99p. It's the cheapest I can make it. Now, what was he doing? He was showing no fear. And when he showed no fear, what did it do? It put the Arsenal backline under pressure. The problem was there was no one stepping up with him. So when Dennis was going forward into these positions, there was Max Johnson in the box. The midfield, God knows where they were. They weren't even there, right? But he's got to just play. There's got to be support to him. My point still stands. If everyone played with the way Dennis played, yes, they would have lost the ball, yeah? But 1 or 2 of those things would have come off. He was good. And why is he not getting a run out in the team? I was shocked that he was given 33 minutes or whatever it was. But please, can we see him have a run? Just give him the Brentford and the Palace game. Please, Cooper, just put him out on the left. See what he's got. Let him loose a bit, man. Please, rant over. I'm going to give him... I want to give him a 7, but he was a sub, wasn't he? So I think a 6 to me, to be honest. He should have shot that chance in the box. But I was pleased with his performance. Again, the other thing that pisses me off is we always get one player who comes off the bench that gives us a 20-minute cameo, and then suddenly we lose our minds, which is exactly what I'm doing right now, which is exactly the thing that's infuriating me. And as I'm saying it, it's bugging me, because then all week now we're going to be start Dennis. Like when O'Brien did it against Fulham, start O'Brien, yeah? And then nothing will come about of it. It's anyway, let me calm down. All right, so I'm giving him a 6. Jolly Ollie's giving him a 5. Rad Dad's giving him a 5.5. Red Nosty saying agree 6, the only one that really tried. Red Nosty, man, you must be like on some drugs today, bro. It says you talk sense. Not a lot of people would say that. We don't even play a cam, says Simon. You can't really play a cam in a 4-3-3. You would need to switch it to a 4-2-3-1, which still would be my preferred formation. But trust me, I'll take a 4-3-3 over 3-3 at the back. Ryan says 6, just don't understand why he didn't shoot. Was that clear on the TV or wherever you guys watched it? Because I was right behind it, and at one, after, I think it was the first cut, he had a clear open shot, but it was on his left foot. Maybe that's what stopped him. Southpaw saying a 6, Steen saying, can't wait for the international break, gives us a few weeks to try something new in gel. I don't think it will, bro, because then a lot of them will be on, and not annual leave, at the World Cup. Radstad saying 5.5. Red Nosty saying agreed 6, the only one that really tried. Random saying Dennis needs to start. Gibbs-White needs putting Cam just ahead of Mangala, Freuler, Johnson wide right, Awoniyi up top. Random, that's the 4-2-3-1. Yeah, I agree with that. I think it could work. Sid saying a 5. Southpaw Red saying wasn't a good weekend for us. So it hasn't been a good weekend for 2 weeks. Bloody Leeds yesterday, man. Red Nosty says LOL on drugs, you talk sense too. Hey, from one druggie to another then. MMA, how are you? Are you talking about the one where he should have crossed it to Brennan? No, I'm talking about the one he was in the box. He was like, I don't know what angle you guys had it, but from behind the goal, he was just on the right-hand side of the penalty spot. He chopped in, chopped back out. Then he could have shot. Then he chopped again. He probably could have shot again. Then he chopped back out. And then he ended up laying the ball back to nearly 1/3 back up the pitch. I don't know who it was to. It might have been to like Yates or something. And then it just filtered out. What is going on here? What's happened? Are we still live? Is the stream still up? Steve says they're all on annual leave now by the looks of it. Simon Jensen's, we look like idiots without a Spurs shirt in it. You know, we just got that. It just looks like I picked it up from Soccer Direct. You know, if you cover the badge up, looks like I've just bought a Macron shirt. But anyway. Okay, guys. So that was him. The next one on was Joe Worrell and Nico Williams for Lodi. So let's go very quickly with these. Worrell's crap. I don't. The only thing I remember of Worrell was him, McKenna, and Cook holding hands and almost playing the hokey cokey as Odegaard came towards them and still managed to get a shot through them. Where's bloody Worrell? There he is. And I don't know. And it worries me. This substitution that he did with Worrell and Williams was probably scarier for me than the result, because I just feel like Cooper is desperate to and itching to go to a back 3. And for me, that scares the absolute crap out of me. So instead of saying to himself, Cook's too slow for this, Cook's, you know, he's done what he can do. Bless him, he's playing at his level. Instead of changing the personnel and lifting the French embargo, I feel like he's going to switch to a back 3, man. I feel like he's going to switch to a back 3. I thought Worrell was crap. I'm going to give him 3 for me. Get the rating up. Honestly, I saw that goal and I need to watch it back. I might be wrong on it. Yeah, you guys, I'm sure, will tell me, right? It's just the way, from where I was looking, you just saw Worrell, Cook, McKenna, all holding hands. And then Odegaard still wasn't closed down. There seemed to be a sea of blue shirts in there. Yeah. And he still got the shot away. It's just weird, man. It was weird. I don't... Let's see what you guys are saying and move on. Seriously. Okay. Simon F is saying... God, there's loads of Simon Forest fans as well. We keep saying that breaks between games are in our favour, but the longer they are, the worse we seem to become. Worried about the World Cup break. The World Cup break's not good, because we're coming back to Man U and Chelsea, boys. Don't forget that. Am I the only one seeing Fabrizio romantic? I don't know, bro. I don't know what you're talking about. Red Nosty said Worrell did okay in the time he was on, a 4. Reddit giving him a 2. Adam saying a 3. Steve saying can't rate him for now, turned off at this stage. Fox saying Worrell got spun while with simple balls over the top and passive for the first for the goal number 1. Rad's dad saying we don't want a back 3. No, we don't want a back 3. We don't want a back 3. Worrell 2.5. They need to bring in Biancone, says Vinny. How are you, Vinny? Sorry if I spelled it incorrect. Don't worry, bro. Don't worry. You did actually spell it incorrect, but I know exactly who you're talking about. And I'm not one to talk about spelling. Okay, Southpaw, I agree. CB's not prem quality. Seen it over and over again. Worrell at 3. But we've got other centre-backs. Was Bidet on the bench? I didn't see the actual lineup of the bench. Was Bidet on the bench? Can anyone tell me? Please tell me he wasn't, because that will just infuriate me. But anyway, let's move on. Let's talk about Nico Williams, who was next up. I just saw him as weak against any kind of physical pressure against him. He wasn't on. Oh my God, man. What's he got to do? What has he got to do? If I'm freaking his parent club, I'm on the phone to Cooper saying, book his flight back now. What is the point in him being on loan to you guys where we could just come and sit him on our bench? Calm down. Calm down. Okay. What? Biancone wasn't even on the bench, Charlie. What the hell, man? Okay, Nico Williams, guys. He's not physical enough for me. He's been played out of position on the left. Look, unless the only argument I can give for Lodi being taken off would be the fact that Lodi's rusty, needs minutes under his belt, the usual crap you do when a player is coming back. But for me, Nico Williams is too weak on the ball. Compare him to the other side where he should be playing on the right-hand side and Serge Aurier. I don't think he has a sniff at that right-back position right now. And I think he's being shoehorned in until Lodi is up to full fitness. And then he's just going to fade into the bench and maybe be one for the future. Obviously, Aurier, I think we've only got a 1-year contract. But he's too weak on the ball. He got pushed off straight away. He came in when we had the throw-in. So when Lodi came off, I think he took the throw-in and instantly got pushed off the ball as well. Outside of that, didn't see anything progressing from him going forward. Didn't see any great defending at all either. Didn't really notice him apart from the times he got pushed off the ball. But he didn't get long. How long did he get? Actually, he was on for about 25 minutes, you know. That kind of sums it up. I'm just going to give him a 3. I think we'll just go with a 3 on him. And, you know, be a little easy on him because he is being played out of position. But, you know, it is what it is. Okay, what are you guys saying about him? Let's scroll back up. Jolly Ollie saying a 2. Red Imp saying a 3. And we are finally over 100 likes. Thank you very much. Did O'Brien come on? Yeah, he came on about 10 minutes to go. Red Nasty says, I don't rate Williams, but he did okay. Attacking wise, so 3. Andrew says, I do think we will have a new manager at Christmas, regardless of the next 2 games. Fox said Williams did good when he came on. I may have missed it. To be honest, at that stage, I was done, man. I was just talking to my son saying, when can we go? Simon says, why would you loan a player out, not even have him on the bench? Can't wait to see Bidet actually in a Forest shirt against Spurs. I mean, don't hold your breath even for that one, Simon. Rad's dad saying a 3. Adam saying a 3. Southpaw saying, I'm still Cooper out. I'm afraid he's just not good enough. Adam saying, I'm still out. Southpaw saying 2 lightweight, a 3. Southpaw, how are you not a member, bro? How are you not a member? Random saying, do you think Nico's struggling stepping into Spencer's shadow? I don't think he's got the chance now. I think that's it on right back. I think Aurier is the right back in the discussion, to be honest. Simon is saying, saying Nico's a midfielder or right wing back instead of right back or left back. Simon says, after today, still not sure I know what the spine of our team is. Pat, you absolute legend. You legend, Pat. Thank you for becoming a member. Love you, bro. And look at that. He's upgraded from the Come On You Red member badge into the Blue Forest badge. Who is going to be the first to get the Gold Forest emblem badge? The race is on for next month. Carl says, do you think the team would get promoted out of the championship? Yeah, I do. But if for anyone who thinks that if we go down, this will be our team next season, you're dreaming. And for anyone who thinks we come straight back up, I like your optimism. Simon Jones is saying, yes, this team would spank teams in the championship. Pat says, gutted about today, man. Bro, so am I, man. So am I. I really am. Okay, and then finally, the last sub was... It was O'Brien. The only thing I noticed about O'Brien was how bright his shoes were, man. And I don't like the fact he only got 9 minutes. Look, at 3-0 down, I think Yates and and Kouyate should have been tagged out for O'Brien and Mangala. I mean, Mangala didn't even get in, did he? But the only thing I saw about him, he got, let me just tell you, he got 9 minutes on the pitch. He didn't do anything, and he didn't do anything bad, he didn't do anything good. I don't think we can really rate him, guys, but he did have some really bright boots on. That's all I can say about him. I think we just give him a... He did nothing. Nothing bad, nothing good. I can't judge him. I'm just going to give him a 5 and just move on. It's like an NA, so to speak, yeah? Okay, so that was all the subs. Let's go on to talk about Cooper. So let's bring the Coop Meister up. Okay, so if we talk about the team selection, I think for me, I don't think it was wrong. Yeah, I kind of predicted, I predicted this team. I just didn't have a chance to change it, as in that Cooper would do. For me, the only one I would have been tempted to remove would have been Cook and bring in a Bidet or a Biancone or even a Worrell in there, and Lingard as well for Dennis. But I can't say, because I did say yesterday, I wouldn't have been like completely averse to the fact that he wants to keep. Look, I understand what he was doing. You've got to start to get some consistency on your starting 11. You can't keep selecting 11 different players every single time. Yeah. So I get what he was doing there, but it's the instructions that were wrong, not necessarily the team selection. Oh my God, Robert, thank you so much for becoming a gold Super Red member. That's so kind of you, mate. Thank you for joining. I appreciate it. Guys, welcome. Fellow members, welcome him in with some come on, you Reds. So for me, the team selection, although I still have issues with it, I understand why he did it. My gripe today was the instructions, the revert back to type, where everyone's being pushed back to the halfway line, surrendering possession, no bites, no determination. Broiler being made to play. My nose is so itchy, man. What the hell? It's like I got hay fever. But yeah, for me, it was more about the instructions than the team selection. And again, if we look at it, was I happy with his first 2 substitutions? So we were 3-0 down. This seems to be Cooper's trigger point when we're losing, is wait till they score 3 goals before we start to change the tactics. So they scored in the 52nd minute their 3rd goal. In the 56th minute, he took off MG Dub and Lingard, which I was okay with. Yeah. What I was not happy with was when he took off Awoniyi, because he gave Dennis and Awoniyi all of 8 minutes to try and do something together. So it's the first 2 subs, fine with, I got it. The second 2 subs, where he basically waved the white flag and went to a back 3, I didn't like. And then O'Brien was pretty pointless at the end. You can't really judge him. So what do I give Coops on this one? You got to take into account the opposition, but you got to take into the account as well, tactically he wasn't right, and waving the white flag in it was the 64th minute where he took Awoniyi off. I'm just checking it now. That to me just was a case of thanks for hosting us, Arsenal. It's been a lovely trip down to London. We'll see you back at the City Ground. I'm gonna give him a 4. And I'll explain why. My main reason is I expected, because he didn't make the changes, he's trying, that was right, even though I don't agree with some of the players. He was trying to get a little bit of rhythm in the team. It's the instructions where I'm scoring him low. And again, it's the weird substitutions where you're taking off a number 9. And I think at the end we had just Dennis and Brennan up front as a 2, as a front 2. I'm sorry I keep scratching my nose. There's no bogeys, guys, I promise, but it's just like I got hay fever. Anyway, you probably didn't notice until I just said that. But overall, he was outdone. And the thing that frustrates me, guys, and I keep saying this, right? I keep saying this. The thing that frustrates me is This is against a manager who draws a heart and a brain and a stick, man. Just hurts. That just hurts. Bet MMA says, I think it was right to rest up all the important players. White flag or not, next week is far more important than this week. I get that point, Bet MMA, but I will refresh your memory back to the Boring Mouth match when we all thought that and it didn't happen, and then the Fulham match, you know. So I get that, and I'm not saying he was wrong to do it, but the point I'm making is that it almost gave the players justification to not bother still, and they were not bothering. Yeah, it's weird. It's weird. Okay, what are you guys giving the Coop Meister? Let's have a quick look here. Random saying team selection was okay. The players just didn't perform. Maybe too negative mindset. Not adventurous enough. Team looks like they're tethered to our own box. I think that's fair enough. I'm with randoms on all the players today, says Simon. And then Rad's dad says Coop in, but a poor 3. Omai says participation award -1. Red Imp's giving him a 4. Smithy giving him a 3. Red Nosty saying a 2. Keith saying Pooper Scooper number 2. Okay. Vinny's agreeing with Adam. Rad Dad says at the City Ground we will beat Brentford and Palace 6 points. Let's not jinx it yet, Rad Dad. Let's not jinx it yet. Red Nosty saying 2 because nothing seems to be progressing. Andrew says Steve Cooper will keep making the same wrong selections. Scarpa will come in January and Cooper won't play him till April. I'm sorry, but I don't think he is the right man. Tom Fay says we hit 12 points next match for sure. I hope so, Tom. Bet MMA says Bournemouth was 3rd match in a week, so perhaps should have rested more players for that one too. It's all ifs, buts, and maybes, Bet MMA, isn't it? But that's what we do best as fans. Smithy say, can't say 6-pointer when we played like that. Carl says 100% agree. Vinny says Surridge, Biancone, Bidain needs a chance, I think he means. Carl says nothing's changing a 2. Simon saying Surridge is crap. Red Dad says we are the 12th man. We are definitely the 12th man, but I still say that 11 men need to turn up and perform. Kay says evening Wolverine, weren't our day. Must hope this doesn't affect our confidence too much going forward. That is my worry about today, Kay. That is my worry. Keith's saying I know it's juvenile, but I'm trying to cope. And Steve says, what is Cooper seeing in these players? Why doesn't he see what the fans see? I don't know, bro. I don't know. People will tell you it's training and stuff. Okay, let's finish off with the man of the match. For me, look, I'll give you my contenders. Aurier, definitely. Dennis, but he was a sub. That's really where I am, guys. I think I have to give it to Aurier. I think for me, it's Aurier. Man of the match from Wolverine goes to Aurier. Just by process of elimination. Who else was a contender? Honestly, Aurier, Dennis. I think I'd have in 3rd place maybe Lodi, but he wasn't brilliant. That's it. I don't think it's that hard to do it. Is anyone going to disagree with me on Sergeant Aurier? Charlie saying Cooper would benefit from a touchline ban, see the bigger picture, and simultaneously Cook and McKenna booking to force them to consider CBs with pace. Ed saying our next 2 home games will be key. Atmosphere will be great, but they better show up. I'll be there, man. This is the problem. Such a jinx when I go to Forest matches. Adam Shelton saying Aurier. Andrew saying Aurier, man of the match. Pat saying not seen any of the game. You're lucky, Pat. You're lucky. Red Nasty says Henderson, even though he conceded 5, he made an amazing save. Simon Jones saying Aurier. Rad Dad as well is saying Aurier. Southpaw Red says fans can only do so much. Players and management need to step up. I couldn't agree more. It is not our responsibility to be the 12th man. If we went as fans and stayed silent the whole match, yeah, silent, and it doesn't matter in terms of what the players are paid to do. Do you get what I'm saying? I'm not saying go there and be silent. I'm saying it is for them to inspire us. Look, today, the Arsenal fans were silent until Arsenal scored, and then they raised the temperature. They actually had a decent atmosphere. It was one of the most boisterous atmospheres, and I've been to quite a few matches at the Emirates, and it's so corporate there. But today, we gave them reasons. We, Forest, gave them the reasons to be happy. And in turn, they were, they were gouging our away fans as well. And I felt for the away fans, man. It was so painful to watch because they were trying their best to keep their hearts up and the song in their mouth and all that stuff. But even it's like there's only a set level. There's only a set level before you become, laughed at when you're 5-0 down and still singing away and stuff. But they found that right level, the away fans. They were singing at the right times. They were backing the teams at the right times. But there was times where they protested in slight silence as well. And I thought they were very balanced today. So, yeah, let's see what else you guys are saying before we wrap up. And do you guys want a fan forum later on? I've still got to write a presentation tonight for work tomorrow. Away fans were quiet for once too, says Simon. Don't blame them. Andrew says, why was none of our defenders booked today? Weren't they trying? Yes, run the Forest. Yes, the Forest true fan, says Jolly Ollie. Tomic says, man of the match, Bidet sat with wonderful posture on his couch at home. Trevor Francis's tracks. I love your name. 100% Aurier, no other contenders. David says, Cooper, team selection okay, unremarkable, but his substitutions are miserable. Lingard should have been removed as soon as he missed his opportunity. Mangala and O'Brien should have come on at half time. Thomas says, Forest were diabolical today, especially second half. Such a setback after the past 2 weeks. And then Vinny says, players need to earn their corn, not just sit back and take huge salaries. The difference between this season and last season was the commitment and passion. Vinny, I fully agree with you. And that's my point about why is it down to us to motivate them as 12 men? I get that we want to do that, but it's not down to us to do it. Was it true that some Arsenal fans left before the final whistle? Yeah, loads left, man. Loads left. They left. They started leaving from about the 85th minute because it was a done deal. There's a lot of traffic to get back to the underground station and the train station. So, and you got to get across the bridges around the Arsenal ground. It's a bit of a pain in the ass. Not as bad as the Spurs ground. That is a pain. Sugar says, I think Cooper will probably resign. Pat says, back to the drawing board. Simon says, yes, Simon, I saw a lot of empty seats. Embarrassing. They were done then. They were happy. They were singing their hearts out coming out of the stadium. Carl says, right, I'm off to watch the highlights. Not looking forward to him. I'm going to take a break as well. And then we will come back with a fan forum. But please, I want you guys to jump on the fan forum. And we can get your opinions on there and see what you think. Please, guys, if you haven't already, before you leave, do hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel if you are new. Look, it's been a tough day. I hope you guys understand what I've been saying during this. I understand that we're not expected to beat Arsenal. My point is, there's a way to lose. And that's all I'm saying. So we'll probably do the fan forum maybe about 9:30, something like that. Until then, chin up, guys. Look, we've taken 3 points from these 2 games. I think that's the way we need to look at it rather than 3 and a 0. I think let's say 3 points from these 2 games. We'd have all bitten each other's hands off for it. Onwards and upwards to Brentford. And I'll catch you guys in the fan forum in an hour or so's time.